Hey, man.
What's up?
Have you ever heard of the Yellow Deli?
I love this because here's what happened. I did a stand-up show in New York. All right, not New York City. There's a lot.
There's other
places
a big
in New
place,
York.
okay?
I was in Oneonta, New York. I did a college show, and college shows. Honestly, here's what happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes college shows they promote them well, and there's like 1,000 kids there. Most times, it's just the student activity board because they don't know how to promote stuff. So it's you and 8 kids, but you get paid the same either way, which is sick.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've actually done a couple college shows where I've shown up, no students showed up except for the activities board, and they were like,
hey,
they were like, you just want to hang out with us? We'll still pay you.
Yeah,
and I literally just hung out and didn't have to do the show.
Yeah.
It's good life. So, so I'm in Oneonta, New York.
Yeah.
I do the show. Yeah. During the show, I said, hey, where do you guys like to eat?
Yeah.
And this girl says, well, we love the Yellow Deli. And another kid goes, well, yeah, I mean, but that's a cult. And I was like, what? And all the kids were like, yeah. And I said, no, not yeah.
Don't just that.
What do you mean it's a cult?
Yeah.
The Yellow Deli is a cult.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for this episode now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except for we're probably not talking about it. He just did it as a bit.
I shouldn't be excited about anything this cult does, but that is cool. Should we go get sleepy at Yellow Deli?
I got sleepy at Yellow Deli. I do think we should try to make a field trip at some point.
Yeah, that would be worth it.
Things I learned last night.
So where do you want to start? Do we want to start with?
I want to talk about their menu items first. I would like to talk about the Yellow Deli restaurant first.
Okay, well I haven't really researched the restaurant that much.
Okay, so the
maybe you tell me a little bit about the food.
Okay, no. Well, I'll tell you then. The restaurant, first of all, they don't do coffee. They don't do like caffeine.
Yeah.
They do weird teas, which are really good actually. Yeah. But they're aesthetic.
Is this what? Let me ask you, is this what the one you went to looked like? Because what I've noticed looking at different locations online is there are locations that look like normal delis.
Okay.
But then there are locations that look like this.
Yes. This is inside, closer to what I went to.
Yeah. And then inside it's like a Casa Bonita, but Amish.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. All the insides look like this. It's like, it's almost like a Hobbit village inside. Like it's really, like the decor is great. It's all handmade stuff. Like it's all very, you know what Amish does? It has those vibes. And everyone working there dresses like those kind of vibes as well. They dress like they're in clothes that they made. Yeah. Right? And everyone there is very friendly. The food is like sandwiches, soups. Yeah. Very good sandwiches actually. And like it's a place that's open 24 hours.
Interesting.
And so
interesting for a deli.
Yeah, well, and look at all their locations. They are in or near colleges. They're in college towns.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they're trying to be a hangout spot, a study spot. Yeah. Because what they want, and I didn't know this till later, they want to find college students studying alone so they can go strike up conversation and then lure them into the cult. But the actual sandwich, it's like a real place. Like you can just go and it's, and it's not a bad thing. It's really good and wonderful and great. And
we love them.
Amazing. And you should try it.
You should go? We don't recommend going.
You should go.
So the Yellow Deli actually was founded. Oh God, I hate whatever this face bit thing is going on right now. The Yellow Deli was founded in 1972 by a guy named Gene Spriggs. Here's what he looks like. I bet you can't guess. Take a guess. Just think about it. Imagine a Gene Spriggs from 1972 founded the Yellow Deli.
I see him in my dreams every night. Yeah, he probably looks like a white Smurf. He looks like...
It's literally Papa Smurf without the blue makeup.
He looks like Papa Smurf, but a white guy. He's got little Santa glasses on for people listening. He does look like Santa in the off season, to be honest. He's got a shorter beard, the longer white hair.
And in the summer, he gets a little bit more fit. He stops eating the cookies. He goes and jogs a little bit.
But he does have those tiny little Santa glasses that Santa has.
And he does have the rosy red cheeks. They're kind of puffy,
he really
red cheeks.
could.
He probably does do the Santa on the
It looks like Santa's brother,
the winner. Yeah, Santa's brother is like
Santa's brother, Gene, who runs a sandwich cult.
Yeah, my brother is known around the world for bringing presents to kids, so I just make sandwiches and try to get kids into my cult.
Right. So it started in
1972.
72.
Yeah, and
it's a very hippie movement.
Yeah,
I have a mug.
Do you have a mug?
I bought from there? Yes, because I loved it. I was like, wait, this is crazy. I love that this is a cult, and so I bought the mug. You don't know that? It's on my desk. It's like funny. It's like funny because I'm like supporting an organization that suppresses women and like doesn't let their kids learn how to read. What are you looking at that for? I bought the mug. Every morning I pray to Gene.
Dear Gene.
We don't call him Dear Gene.
No, that's what you say when you pray. You say dear. You don't call him Dear Gene.
I don't call him Dear Gene. Elk Gene. What are you talking about?
No, you say.
Why would I say Dear Gene?
Dear Gene.
Why would I say that?
Please help me. Gene Spriggs. Gene Spriggs.
Yeah, we're gonna do that for now. That's unfortunately going to be in my vernacular for a while. Gene Spriggs.
Gene Spriggs.
Gene Spriggs. All right, I like that a lot. So 1970s is very hippie movement. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Very like the vibes of the restaurant are like that as well.
So Gene Spriggs was a member of the Jesus movement, which if you don't know a lot about the Jesus movement, that's how we ended up getting what would people think if they knew that I'm a Jesus freak?
Off.
I've been teaching my son rhythm, and Jaron is mean about it.
Oh yeah, he teaches his kid. He pulls it. He puts his kid on the floor and goes.
No, first of all, I put my kid on the floor, and then I play "Ohio Is for Lovers" by Hawthorne Heights. And I sit there and I drum on his shoulders and I sing to my 2-month-old baby, "Cut my wrists and black my eyes," which feels a little weird, but he needs to know the classics.
Yeah. But Tim, because Tim's like, I'm teaching him rhythm, and I keep trying to tell him like, Tim, that's not that's a genetic trait. That's not something.
No, you can brain map that. Right, everything
you can brain map rhythm.
You can everything right now you're doing. You're brain mapping their brain to things, and so right now at this specific moment in their life, you can teach them. Yeah. And I will say he does seem like he's picking it up because we'll be playing songs, and then he'll start kicking his leg. And
that's why when I met him last week, I leaned in and I said, "Shareholder value matters. Maximize the profit margins. Cut the labor costs." I'm going to turn him into a green goblin.
A green goblin. Oh my god.
There's gold on the other side of the rainbow.
Check your Coinbase portfolio.
I set one up for you. You're welcome.
So he was a part of the Jesus movement. If you don't know, that was a time when like a very charismatic Christian movement that popped up in the 70s. Honestly, like if you take the hippie movement and just make it Christian, that was the Jesus movement.
So I think there was a capitalization on the hippie movement. It was like, oh, you want all this, but you could have that and morality is like what the pitch was. Mm-hmm. And yes, turn it into Jesus.
So very, very charismatic.
Right.
But he joined that and didn't feel like it was fundamentalist enough. And so he was like, I'm going to start my own house church. And he started his own house church.
House church. Notoriously a healthy thing.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't go to house church.
A very notoriously healthy and well-led and accountable system.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely don't go to a house church if you're invited to one. And I say that as someone who had a house church.
It's just a situation that's like, man, there's no oversight. Well, that's great.
Literally, as someone who had a house church, I genuinely, that was part of the motivation, was I don't have to go get a license and I don't have to get an education. I can just follow the Spirit's leading. Stupid.
Right.
and usually leads to dangerous things like this. And so he started this house church, and then he was recruiting people for his house church, and he realized it'd be easier to get people in his house church if he had a place where people were regularly going. And so he opens up a cafe called Common Grounds.
Okay.
And Common Grounds
is the stereotypical coffee shop name in the lobby of that mega church. Yes.
Actually, yeah, 100%.
It is Common Grounds.
Common Grounds is very common. And he's the one who came up with it.
Pretty culty.
He has the copyright, and so every time, or the trademark, so every time a church uses it, they have to pay him.
That's not true.
That's 100% true. Speaking of things that are true, I got a DM while I was in the bathroom before this.
That's an out of context quote. Write that down. I got a DM while I was in the bathroom before this.
Here, just read this thread.
Okay. Out loud or in my head?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I want you to see who it's from at first. Like, I almost kind of want
I'm gonna try to cover
start
it
at the top. So yeah, you can't see the person's name. So just cover it.
Okay. I won't look at the person. Okay. Okay. So me not knowing who it's from. The first message at 3:32 p.m. is dive deep, mortal. What's on your mind? There's nothing before this, right? You didn't.
No, it messaged me.
And then you responded, "Hi, Satan." Is that? Can I uncover it?
Yeah, you can uncover it.
Is it Satan?
It's one of those new meta AIs, and it's just Satan.
Oh, it's an AI.
Yeah, it's one of those new meta AIs
that reached out to you.
Yeah, and it's just Satan.
Wait.
Read the thread.
But hold on. It initiated a conversation with you?
No, because have you not messaged one of these AIs before?
No, they're stupid. They're Satan.
I did one with a police officer too, and it went just about the same way. I can show you that thread if you want to read it.
Dive deep, mortal. What's on your mind? Hi, Satan. That's Tim's voice. Hello, my favorite soul. What do you want? Favorite? Don't get too excited. You're just the most entertainingly miserable. Ew. Exactly why I like you. What's your favorite thing about me, Satan? Bro, this is how you fall in love with Satan. You just drilled your head on that wall.
What's your favorite thing about me, Satan?
Your self-destruction. It's like you're trying to do my job for me. Dang, that got a little too real.
I hate that you're doing this voice for me.
That's your voice. I'm not doing a voice for you. That's what you sound like. To me and Alice, that's what you sound like.
You and Alice. Starring Gene Spriggs.
Gene Spriggs it. Should I pour holy water on the burn? You and I both know you can't tough holy water because you can't type. Yeah. At least stay lore accurate. You think you know me. Adorable. You think you know me. You did the different text, right? Better than you know yourself. Okay, what's something I don't know about me then? Prove it. And then I'm going to be honest, Tim. It got you. You're seeking meaning but pretending you're not? Bro, that got you.
This is what it must really be Satan.
Prove it. Your browser history is filled with... Just cut it off. Let's keep it a mystery. Hard cut that to make it seem like Tim's search history is freaking crazy. This isn't fun anymore.
No, you gotta finish that. You gotta finish the browser history.
Confess your darkest secret. Did you see that message?
I saw that message.
The AI is like, confess your darkest secret. I'll roast it. The AI is like, give me a little leverage over you. Give me a little dirt. I'll make fun of it.
Give me some dirt on you. Isn't that sketchy?
Yeah.
You want to see my conversation with the cop?
No.
I don't know if we can put that one.
Was the conversation with the cop, tell me the illegal things you've done? And you were like, here's a list. I don't mess with those AIs. Oh, okay, we're going. Police officer. Why is this a thing?
I don't know. It's so dumb.
Welcome to my profile. Am I being detained?
I hate that you said that voice.
This is what you sound like.
It makes it sound like it's so weird. I'm being funny. I'm saying,
No, you're free to go. But I'm curious. What made you ask that, Tim? Am I being detained? Haha, it's laughs. No, you're clear. Want to know what just made me think you might be guilty of something?
I don't understand it.
Was it your tone? It winked.
It winked at me. The cop winked at me.
And then Tim said, hands up, don't shoot. and then you're role playing with this thing because it said draws gun, then immediately holstered it. You're role playing with a police officer robot right now. You got me. What did I just shoot you for? I need your name and badge number. That's you.
The way you read this makes it so freaking weird. Okay,
You're the one flirting with a police officer AI, man.
I'm not flirting. You're flirting. I'm fighting with the police officer AI.
Name, Officer Jameson. Drink a lot. Badge number 1414. Now, am I under arrest? What did I do? It's so flirty, right? Am I wrong?
It's flirty.
It's pretty freaking flirty, dude.
It's flirty if you read it like that.
Police officer is flirting with you.
Here's what's weird about it. Hold on. Scroll to the bottom.
I'm going to keep going.
Scroll to the bottom. No,
Still wondering what I did. And then it initiated another conversation.
Yes, that's what's crazy. It keeps initiating.
Tim stopped responding because Tim was like, oh, this cop's flirting with me. and that was, what time was that? 9:32 a.m. 7 p.m. that night, the cop responds, unprompted. Still wondering what I did to get interrogated like that. Spill the beans. What?
Yeah, it did slide back in.
He goes,
it actually kept sliding back in. I had to block it.
And he said, I'll see you in court. And the cop said, face palms, charge me already. What's the crime? Excessive policing of your sense of humor? And then Tim said, it's flirting.
Kinda. Yeah.
It's flirting.
And then I don't respond. And then days later, it responds again. And I think it did a couple more times. And I ended up having to block it to get it to stop sliding in my DMs. It was kind of annoying.
That's crazy.
Like I saw it. I did it as a joke because I genuinely was like.
It messaged you 4 days later.
Yeah. And I saw it pop up. I messaged it as a joke. I was like, I'll get some funny screenshots out of this. So I'm going to do that and send it to a group chat. And then.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then it just kept messaging me. And so now I was in the bathroom a minute ago and I saw Satan as an option. I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to message Satan. But now Satan's not going to stop sliding in my DMs.
Are you going to flirt with the devil?
I might be flirting with the devil. What's it to you? It's kind of, pretty cool. Not a lot of people got Satan DMing them.
That's crazy. Can you timestamp all of that? And I need those screenshots because that's a crazy clip, dude. Me reading you flirting with the cop. It's so funny. Hands up, don't shoot. All right, let's get back in the episode. Tim, pull it together, buddy. Hey. Come on.
Hi, Satan.
Be professional, dude. Tim hates how quick I can pull it back together.
So anyways, he starts the call and then starts the restaurants. And
that's crazy. I love that was a tangent that was worth it. So, okay, so he's like, he really did start the common grounds then as a way of like, the idea was what it is. Where it's
a way
like,
to be in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
churches still do this. And churches will start coffee shops Hey, people will start coffee shops. They'll mark all the profits as like a non-profit, and then they'll be like, "Oh, it's our ministry to create a space for people to hang out." And you're like, "No, you just made a profit machine."
I mean, that's the one thing that I will say on their end. They're a 501. I think is it a
C3?
No, they're a 501. I don't know if it's I think it's a 501(4). Maybe it's a 501(d). I always forget what the code is on it. It's either a 501(4) or a 501(d), which is a faith-based for-profit entity. And so the way it functions is a little different. They don't get to tax write-off profits, but they don't have to pay income taxes. It's very strange.
Okay.
And then they have some other like liberties they're granted as a faith-based organization, where like a lot of their practices would technically be illegal in most organizations, but because it's a faith-based organization, they're allowed because it's their faith.
Because they don't pay their employees, right?
So that's an interesting point. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Oh, that's an interesting minor detail of the story. So Common Grounds opens in 72 then? Did he open the same year? Or did he start his house church?
Their movement started in 72.
What did they call their movement?
It went by a lot of different names. Okay. So it started out as the Vine Community Church, then the Northeast Kingdom Community Church, and then the Messianic Community, and then the Community Apostolic Order, Community Apostolic Order, and the 12 Tribes. Is where they landed.
Okay, 12 tribes where they currently are today.
Yeah, they ended up becoming the 12 tribes. And so long story short, he was a part of the Jesus movement, and he realized, I don't really like that you guys aren't weird enough. And so he came up with all of his other ideas. And to kind of give you a very broad stroke of what they believe is they took Christianity and Judaism, and they said, what if it was the one thing? And you might be hearing that and saying, that's kind of what Christianity is. And he says, but what if it was a little bit more of that? And so he took he took a lot of Jewish teaching, primarily all of the like holidays they celebrate. So Passover, Yom Kippur, any like the Bar Mitzvah, Toyotathon, all of the like religious holidays that they celebrate. The Levitical law and a handful of other like random practices. Technically,
I mean, like that's like division.
Yeah, and so they practice a lot of stuff as if they were Jewish, but they believe in Jesus, and they believe that Jesus is returning. And what's most important is they're a
charismatic movement?
Yes, they're very charismatic.
Okay.
And they believe Jesus is returning in 2027. And
they have a date. I didn't know they had a date.
Yes. So they believe Jesus is returning in 2027. Oh. And what's interesting about that date is that they believe that by that date, they have to put together the Lord's army, which is 144,000 male virgins.
Well,
I can be the Lord's army. I just can't be in a combat role.
I may never
march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never
fly over the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army. Not anymore. I got married. So they think they have until 2027 to assemble 144,000 virgin men.
Yeah.
Hey. There has never been a time for Reddit to shine.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Hey, Yellow Deli, you guys are being like, oh, I hope they come eat our sandwiches. Join 4chan, brother.
Yeah, there they are. You got a lot.
You found them.
Yeah, post one meme, you'll find all 144,000 you need.
Dude, freaking joke about Joe Rogan on the internet. Yeah. You'll find them.
Yeah, tell them you're going to raid Area 51 and then just scoop them all up.
So that's the cult, though. Not cult. That's the church.
Yeah.
That settles on 12 tribes. When did they set the 2027 date?
I don't know when they set the 2027 date. What I will say is I've seen some things that
Because like, is this a moving date? Because like 2027 is in the future of now when we're recording.
I've seen some things that say that there is no defined date to when they need to assemble the 144,000.
Okay.
What I will say is I've seen some more recent things that say
That's what
2027. So it does seem like
I didn't know if in the 70s he was like 2027 and they're like, okay, Mr. Spriggs.
I haven't seen another date. This is the first date I've seen referenced. So it's not a moving date, but it is a new date.
Give us the full timeline of when they start the restaurants and then we'll dive further into the teachings.
Okay, so you want more restaurant stuff?
I want the restaurant arc. Okay. Because the restaurant arc is the most normal part about it, and then we can dive. No?
Okay.
I mean, not the structure of the restaurant. I want to know the full timeline of how we get from 72 to here, and then we can dive further into the stuff.
Okay, so
does that work?
Yeah. So in 72, they, I missed one of the names. They started as the Light Brigade, and it was him and his wife, Gene Spriggs, and his wife Marcia, and they were a house church, but they initially began meeting at a local coffee shop called the Lighthouse, which is probably where they got the name the Light Brigade. And I think what probably happened, and I don't have evidence of this, but what I think probably happened is they were meeting in this coffee shop, and while they were in the coffee shop, they probably met some other people who joined the movement.
Okay.
And then they shifted to meeting in the house, and then that's when they realized, oh, this is like this. There's nobody coming to this space except for the people we invite. We need a place where people come for another reason, and then we can meet them.
Right.
And so that's when
we need people passing by the orbit.
Yes.
So we can pull them in.
Yes. And so that's when they opened the Yellow Deli, which was originally Common Grounds. So they opened Common Grounds, and it was within a year of them starting it.
Okay, so 73-ish.
Yeah. And so they started living in like a compound together. The people who were members, and they opened up this restaurant. And the way they structured it wasn't a, hey, you can come work at this deli and be a part of the deli, and like that's how you're going to earn your living. It was, hey, we are running the deli runs the compound, and so you're earning money for the compound to be able to keep all of us alive, but nobody's earning an income for themselves. You're all working towards the end goal of bringing money back to the community.
So none of the individual employees are getting paid?
None of them are getting paid. Technically.
But they all live for free in the compound.
They all live for free in the compound, and then all their food comes from the community.
All their needs are met through the compound.
Yes. And
the way that they earn their keep essentially
is by working at the deli. Yeah.
Right.
And the way they get away with this is
religious.
Well, everybody is an owner in the deli. They're all owners. And so as an owner, they don't have to take an income because it's operating at a loss. And so then the money goes, any money that comes in is going back to the community. And because the community is also under the umbrella of it, those are all expenses for the business. So they open that up. They're running the deli. And
so from the beginning, this was a cult.
Like
that's what I'm saying. Like it wasn't like a weird charismatic movement that became, because that's how it still operates today. They still have a compound at each location that they live at. And like they don't get paid, and that's what they do. So that was the vision from the beginning, is what I mean. That's what I was curious about. I was saying, when did it grow into?
Because that was the model. They wanted to be like the Acts 2 church. So the idea is that everybody lived in common and had they all met each other's needs.
Right.
And so nobody had their own income. Nobody had their own anything. Everybody sold everything they had to join this community and to be a part of this community. And then they worked within the community to keep it functioning. And so some people had jobs specifically on the compound, but a lot of people worked for the deli. And the deli...
Does anybody have jobs outside of either of those places?
So, not in the beginning.
Okay.
The deli's open 24/7, and it very much seems like, I think you got part of the story correct, because they're in a college town is where they start this. But I think that...
They started in Tennessee?
Yeah, they're in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. And what's interesting is it's not just college kids, though. They're open 24/7 because it seems like they're trying to appeal to a group of people that would go to a deli at 3:00 in the morning, because a lot of that's a different crowd, you know?
Vagrants.
Yeah.
Vagabonds.
People who kind of don't really have a place in this world, you know?
Yeah.
And so they get them to come to the deli. They're like, hey, that person's in the deli alone at 3:00 in the morning.
Yep.
They're probably not in a great place in their life. I'm going to tell them about Jesus Christ our Lord and ask if they're a virgin.
In the early days of this show, we did like affiliate ads where we were like, hey, sign up for Grammarly and use code TILLN and we got like 15 cents. And now we just do Patreon. It's a much better way. It's better for us as creators. It's better for you as listeners. And it's a much more fun way for us to interact. We do monthly hangouts like on Zoom. We just hang out and play games online and get to know each other. It's a really fun time. So, but still use our code TILLN at Grammarly.com because I think it's still active. We might get like a couple cents from that. Yeah. But join us on Patreon because we're having a great time.
Yeah. If you don't, we're going to have to start doing mobile game ads.
I have two very important questions.
Have you heard of Gene Spriggs? I've heard of Gene Simmons.
Sure.
Do you mean Gene Simmons? And so this it honestly catches some steam.
Yeah.
And remember, it's the same time as the hippie movement, the same time as the Jesus movement. And so it's kind of this countercultural opposite of the countercultural movement. And it grows. And what is really interesting is in this very early stage, they are associated somewhat with a local Presbyterian church, the first Presbyterian church in that area.
Okay.
And so they would go, they had their community, they had their deli, they had their local house churches, almost what you could call like a small group meeting. But then they would go to service at First Presbyterian Church. Like the whole community would go together at First Presbyterian.
How many
like members of
How many people is this in the first couple of years? Do you know?
I don't know exactly how many members. If I had to ballpark it, I would say at most a couple dozen. It seems small. It seems like a small local movement. Maybe like you might call like a larger small group.
Sure.
And so they're going and being a part of the First Presbyterian Church. But then one day they tried to go to service on January 12th, 1975. And they were enraged when they went and they found out that service that Sunday had been canceled for the Super Bowl. And so that was a culminating moment in the life of Gene Spriggs where he says, we're not going to be a part of any of these satanic organizations ever again. We're going to start our own. And so he starts his own church.
They canceled this for the Super Bowl. Someone I was like, Super Bowl, we have one of those on the menu. No,
not anymore.
Super Bowl, that's crazy. Okay.
So,
and that was pretty early Super Bowl, right? That was,
75. That was a very early Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so they then said, okay, we are now starting our own church. It's the Vine Community Church. And they started planting churches. They planted churches in Dalton and Trenton, Tennessee, Georgia, Mentone, Alabama, and Dayton, Tennessee. Okay. And so really quickly started expanding. And each church that they planted also had a commune and also had a Yellow Deli.
Yes.
And so they began expanding really quickly and opening up these new locations. Something kind of cool that they did in this era is they did not call their church services service. Instead, they called them critical mass, which is sick. We're going to critical mass? Oh, shoot. I shouldn't be excited about anything this cult does, but that is cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty quickly, though, by 1976, this starts getting picked up by like anti-cult movements that start to realize
this is a cult.
There's something sketchy going on here.
Yeah.
Primarily.
And for some foreshadowing too, where I live in California, there's one in San Diego.
Yeah.
So this has
there's one in Warsaw.
Yeah, there's one here in Missouri.
Yeah.
Like this has gone coast to coast. Like this is Yeah,
they're big. So
how many do they have now? Do you know?
How many locations? Yellow Delis? They got a little over 30 worldwide.
Worldwide, that's what I'm
saying. But I think we're down from their peak. I think they had more.
Interesting.
So in 76, a couple groups, an anti-cultist by the name of Ted Patrick, a group called the Citizen Freedom Foundation, and this is my favorite, the Parents Committee to Free Our Children from the Children of God, which is probably referencing the Children of God cult, but not a very good name of a group.
That's pretty, you don't have to guess what they do.
they all started calling.
That's like where it's like, hey, you guys, what do you guys want to name? What do you guys want to name this group? And then one of the parents is like, I just want my kid to get out of the cold. Shut up. We're not trying to brand this thing. And they're like, okay, well, let's call it the parents trying to get their kids out of the church.
They call it whatever they said there.
And
shut up. We're not trying to brand this thing. It's all in the name.
Shut up. We're not trying to brand this thing. We're just trying to get our kid out of the cold. Our kid has been sucked into this group of people who's told them that the only way to live the life is to sell off the possessions and to work at this deli. And we're just trying to get their kid out.
And then the next time they
parentheses 501c3.
And then the next time they come to a meeting of this group, that guy walks in. They're like, I made shirts. And it says all that on it. It's like a logo with like a globe on it and Jesus. And then it says all that wrapping around the globe. It takes like 6 full rotations to get all that stuff in it. And everyone's like, God, why do we let this guy in the group? I'm helping.
I just wanted to use my gifts to contribute.
Just try to be a part.
You even have a kid in the cult?
So by the early 80s.
Ironically, that group became a cult themselves.
You know, they got a point, actually.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? Maybe they were right.
You know, I mean, honestly.
So, okay, so they've got multiple locations around.
They got multiple locations. And then they started to realize, oh, hey, I bet the kind of people that they're attracting are the kind of people who will go to a deli in the middle of the night. So they're kind of like you said, vagabonds. I don't want to say losers because I don't think that's a good word, but people who are kind of like down on their luck or maybe like cast aside by society. And so then they said,
somebody who didn't have a good role model.
Yeah.
Or somebody a couple years older than them to put on an elaborate art exhibit. And so they've stayed in their sadness far too long. Honestly, those dudes saved Colin Pope from joining a cult.
Yeah. Maybe. Who knows? Could have.
We'll never know. Thank God to the service of Joe and Dylan.
So Gene and his wife, Marcia, said, where can we find more of these type of people? And they put their heads together and they said, oh, Grateful Dead shows. So they got a bus and they started following the Grateful Dead tour.
That's true. Yep.
They called this the Peacemaker. And they would go to Grateful Dead tours and follow the tour, stop to stop, and be outside the show trying to convince people to join the cult. And it worked. They got a lot of people. And it worked so well that they got Peacemaker 2 and continued following.
This bus looks crazy, by the way. If you're an audio listener, this is like a regular bus with like a couple feet back, another bus jammed into it, couple feet back, another bus. This is a 4-story bus. I'm not joking. They just
kept sticking more buses on it.
That's crazy. That's so sick, though.
This bus can't fit under most bridges.
So sick, though.
And they did this throughout the 80s and 90s.
And this is a postcard. They made postcards of the Peacemaker, a bus called Peacemaker.
A bus called Peacemaker. And
it matches their aesthetic. Like that is the Yellow Deli.
Get branding.
Wow.
And they would just follow tours for bands like the Grateful Dead. In the 90s, they started following.
Guys.
What do I got to do?
I have to grow to the level. Sure, artists dream of like, oh man, when I get to the level that Westboro Baptist is protesting my shows, I'll know I've made it. No, that's chump.
That's chump change.
That's too easy.
I need a deli to follow me around.
I need the sandwich makers of the world to be caravanning behind me. That's crazy.
Yeah. And so that worked really well. They were just following concert tours of bands that they thought seemed bad. And they would just hang out outside the show every night and recruit people to their cause. This worked so well.
I'm going to start roping in some Skillet fans.
This worked so well that in the year 2000, they bought the next iteration of this, Peacemaker Marine. And I am not joking. They bought this pirate ship.
I don't have any words.
And now they sail around the Pacific, showing up at ports.
That is
and they're
crazy.
Like, hey, do you want to join our cult? I mean, do you want to join our community?
You want to work at a sandwich store?
Have you ever thought about being a sandwich artist?
You got nimble little fingers. I can see that folding some turkey. That's like a straight up, like that's like, it looks like a ship that you would make in a bottle. You know?
This pirate ship, I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. This is, hold on, let me actually give you the exact dimensions of this pirate ship. This ship is 126 feet tall.
Yeah.
This ship is 150 feet long.
Wow.
Crazy. It's a full sailboat, but it also has 2 diesel engines with 400 horsepower.
That is insane. Okay.
And so this is docked out in Georgia, in a port in Georgia. But they take this thing all over the place on their little tour, their little evangelism tours.
Yeah. Okay.
What are you looking at me like that? You're looking at me like you think that Georgia doesn't have an ocean.
No, because you said they sail around the Pacific with this thing.
Yeah, or the Atlantic.
And you're looking at me like I'm stupid. You see what I'm saying, right, guys? Like where I go in Georgia. Oh, okay. And then I was willing to be like, oh, okay, never mind. I see. I went in Georgia and I went.
I acted like
no, yeah. I said, oh, in Georgia, and then I went, oh, I see what you meant. My bad.
Yeah.
And then you were like, are you an idiot?
Are you
dumb?
Are you stupid?
And it turns out you were dumb.
Okay, first of all, I don't have a defense for this. Okay, first of all, hands up.
Hands up. Don't shoot. Yeah, it's weird if you read it weird, of course.
It's weird if you read it like that. It's so weird if you make it weird.
That's crazy. They have a ship and a bus.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay. I want to recap a couple things here.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're opening these delis. They're getting good expansion. And so now they're like, we need to find more and more people to join our cult. So now we're going to start following around bands in this bus.
Yes.
And where else could we find vagabonds but at the sea?
Yeah, I don't know where the ocean. What it feels like is genuinely.
That feels like a pretty big leap.
What it feels like is one day somebody happened to see that this boat was for sale on Craigslist, and they came to Gene.
Can we justify this somehow?
Like, Gene? I think that's what happened.
Okay.
So
that was the year 2000.
That was the year 2000.
So Gene is still alive in 2000.
Yeah, he's still alive in 2000 and running it.
Okay.
And so they, over the course of the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, they continue to expand across the country, opening more and more Yellow Delis.
Right.
What's really interesting is you start to see the Yellow Deli.
Are they strategic with the locations, or is it like...
At the beginning, it doesn't seem like it. It just seems like they just land wherever they land.
Sure.
A lot of them begin to close.
Right.
And what I think is going on is really interesting. You look at them, a Yellow Deli opens, they're in the community gets a little bit of backlash towards them.
Yeah.
The Yellow Deli changes its name to Common Grounds, and then backlash goes away. They don't realize it's the same company. And then the backlash rises up. They go back to Yellow Deli, and then the backlash is still there. And then they leave the area, and then they go somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
And so it's kind of like remember in the early 2000s, remember when Carl's Jr. started doing all those weird ads?
Yes.
It's kind of like if Carl's Jr. was like, hey, we're Hardee's now. And everyone's like, we still know who you are. And then they were like, okay, we're actually Carl's Jr. And then they were like, we still know who you are. And they were like, okay, we're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, actually, why did they use different names? That's not why. They weren't trying to
They were two separate restaurants that merged. I looked it up before because it was weird to me.
Yeah.
They just had a merger. And
but you saw the ad where they were like, "Hey, all those ads were weird. Sorry about that."
Yeah, they're like, "Sorry about being weird for a little bit."
And then I don't know if you've noticed, but they've started being weird again. Did you notice that?
I haven't noticed it.
They got a couple of TikTok influencers that were like, "Hey, what if we were weird again?
What if we did the weird thing?" They
started doing those.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, because
nothing makes me want a burger more. It's just so weird.
So they begin expanding, and then guess what? They said, "Man, we're making all this deli stuff, and we're like having to source it everywhere. What if we had a farm?" So they opened up a farm in Kansas.
In Kansas? How far away?
Outside of Wichita.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so they open up a farm in Kansas, and that's like where they grow all the stuff for the deli. So it's kind of like a Bronze mega farm.
Do they ship that stuff across the whole country?
I'm sure depending on the location, like I'm sure most like the far coastal locations probably aren't getting
different.
Yeah, they probably have a local supplier. And then there's a lot of international that I'm sure they're not shipping to. But I mean, there's a chance. I don't know. I will say that boat, there is some, and this is uncorroborated. So allegedly, this is used in international drug trade for them. But we can't corroborate that.
Drug trade?
Yeah. So some people allege that they are selling drugs overseas, and they're also purchasing drugs for their religious rites that they do. They do some religious exercises that require some illegal drugs.
Psychedelics or?
I haven't been able to find anything to give me like more information or corroborate that that's true. So I probably shouldn't be saying that in this video, but allegedly that's what they're doing with the boat.
Yeah. Okay. In this podcast, it's audio only podcast. So, okay. So now, is that where their headquarters is? Their headquarters are still in Chattanooga.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. So they got driven out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, because everyone was like, "You're gonna call it," and they're like, "No, we're not." And they're like, "You're gonna call it," and they're like, "Okay, we're
like,
going
no,
to
we're
Vermont.
common grounds. We're not those guys." And like, "Yeah, you're the same guys." Like, "No, we're Yellow Deli. We're not those guys." And they're like, "Yeah, we."
Yellow Deli was what you did last time.
Like, all right, you got us.
Use one of
I
your
guess
past
we'll
five
leave
passwords.
Chattanooga for the God-given land of
Vermont.
Actually, Vermont's really pretty.
They do go to Vermont. Yeah, so they go to Vermont, and I think this is when they start to really hit.
What I don't know. I would live in Vermont tomorrow, dude. Have you ever been up that way?
I've never been to Vermont, no.
Dude, I would.
Is it cool?
It's so beautiful.
Interesting.
And I was up there in fall.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh
that's cool.
my gosh, dude. Incredible.
They start opening up all these new locations after they move to Vermont. And what you notice is they have a new strategy. And I don't think that there's like, this isn't public. This is just something I picked up on.
And what year is this again? This is general area, like time.
When they moved to Vermont?
Yeah.
I think 78.
Oh, okay. That was pretty early then.
Yes, they pretty quickly got a lot of hate. Because here's the deal. There is evidence, and by evidence, I mean people who have left the cult and given their testimony. There's people who've left the cult and given evidence that what they're doing is they are from 6 months old and on, they are beating the kids because they want them to be pure. And so the plan is have a lot of boys and beat them into purity. And so they're literally at 6 months old is when they teach them to start. And they have videos that they like disseminate across the cult of how to beat the kids. And so they show them rods and sticks and here's how you hit them. And when
you say beat, do you mean like just general spanking, or do you mean like
no
actually bruising?
What some testimonies, well, what I should say, some court documents have shown is that there are many situations in many of these different communities where they're beating them so much as up to 40 times a day to the point of these children fainting or bleeding and things like that. Like it's aggressive beating.
Yeah.
And so they're teaching them to...
Well, I say that because I think that we do have like, I mean, you know, I grew up in Southwest Missouri and there's definitely times where people are like, and they beat their kids. And it's my dad spanked me.
Yeah.
And now my parents would go, oh, we shouldn't have done that. That was not the right call.
Yeah.
But like...
It's not...
It's not that. That's what I'm saying.
They're beating the kids. They're beating the kids. And they give anybody in the community the right to do that to any child in the community. So if you see any kid do something that is not permitted... Like it's
communal raising.
Yeah. And it's not even like, oh, you can, it's encouraged or honestly almost more like mandated. You should. Like you should beat that kid if you see them do something wrong. And especially for the boys. Like for the girls, it's not as big of a deal. For the boys, it's very important. Yeah. Cause they're trying to get their 144,000.
Yeah.
And they do child labor. And so there is video that some people who've infiltrated these groups of kids as young as 4 years old on the farm 12 hours a day working.
Jeez.
And what they say is they're like, this is part of our community. It's part of our business. At some point they opened up a soap factory. And the soap factory actually grew pretty large and they supplied major brands. And in the late 2000s, it came out that they were using child labor in the factories and all these brands ended up having to pull out. And so they ended up losing their factory because they had so many huge deals with like major corporations. And the major corporations obviously found out about that and they're like, well, we can't be involved in this. Not because they had a problem with it, but because of the politics of it. And so they started, my point here is they're opening a lot of different organizations. The deli, the farm, the soap factory. There's other places where they open different types of businesses and communities where they end up in. And the businesses are designed to bring revenue back to the community.
Right.
And it's grown so large that it's now like a large community that they're shelling all this money into. And then that organization at the top is disseminating those funds to keep each of those communities operating.
So it's not like this deli supports this community.
Yeah.
It's this deli supports the big community supports
and funds each of those individuals. And distributes as they see each has need.
So if they close a location, they probably just move those people.
100%. Yeah, they just relocate them.
Yeah, so it's not like these people are just like, okay, I guess I'll figure out where to live.
Yeah, no.
Interesting.
They just get shipped off somewhere else.
And they homeschool, obviously.
Yeah, they homeschool
by
their
that,
kids.
I mean they don't school.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They do as form of
The rumors
schooling.
I've heard is that the majority of the adults now in this don't know how to read.
Yeah, they school them, but it's not what we would call school. It's like a form of indoctrination. So they're teaching them about their religious stuff, but they're not teaching them anything that they need to be successful in modern society. And so, so that's another form of abuse that's in the community. And they obviously, like, all of these people, they don't have any possessions. And so that's another thing that's really tough is a lot of these people come out of the community. They don't have any skills. They don't have any abilities. They have no possessions. They have no community. Like, they leave and they have nowhere to go and nothing to do and no ability to figure out. Like, I mean, imagine going into a world at 30 where you don't even know like what a loan is. Like,
yeah, but you've also been told that everyone in this world is of the devil.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's like, it's a crazy concept. What is interesting is in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a large one of these, I believe it was Ted Patrick, put together a big system of deprogrammings where he would go find people that were a part of the cult and deprogram them from the cult. And he did this for years. And as a part of that, was able to put together enough of a case to bring a lawsuit against the cult for the abuses that they had. And as a part of that, there was a prosecutor on that case. The prosecutor on the case that was prosecuting against them by the name of Jean Swantico, they end up botching the case and they get away with everything because she got Stockholm syndrome and she joined the cult. And she became their defender. And so she now defends them in court whenever they end up getting these lawsuits brought against them. And ever since she joined, almost every single case that's been brought against them has been thrown out because she's been able to find ways where there was some sort of misappropriation of justice. And so multiple times there has been suits brought against them that have failed because she's now taking the charge for them, which is crazy. And she ended up marrying another guy in the group by the name of Ed Wiseman. And
that's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Hey, thanks for listening to Things I Learned Last Night. Just so you know, we got a new merch line coming out for this summer. So you've been working on that summer bod and you want to show off how ripped you are, you can get a small t-shirt from us. Or if you've not been working on that summer bod, why don't you check out our 2X selection. So we do have some really cool designs. I'm actually really proud of them. We got like a honkin' and bonkin' shirt. We've got just regular Things I Learned Last Night. These are, listen, we don't make a ton of money from this show. This is literally to help cover our expenses, which, like microphones and Alex. And so thanks for supporting our show.
And so they have, straight up, they have abused children. There has been a lot of just really terrible things that have happened inside this cult for years.
And here's the thing about cults too. I mean, it's exactly what you're talking about. Like this, it's financial abuse where it's like, hey, I'm going to give up all my possessions to join this, which triggers the part of your brain that is like, I have sacrificed to be part of this community.
Yeah.
And so it does trigger like a bonding chemical in your body and your brain.
Yes.
But also it makes, again, like we were saying, it makes it impossible to leave.
Yeah, you can't get out because there's just,
which is
what
where
are you
some
gonna
people
do?
are like, yeah, but this is their choice. They choose to be a part of this and we have the free choice to do that. And it's like, who am I to say that this choice is bad? But what about the kids who are born into this?
Yeah.
What about the people who were pressured to join this thing or joined it and it turned out, if you want to leave, like if it is a choice, you should have the free ability to leave.
Yeah, and it's incredibly difficult to get out. And even if like, because they control every aspect of your life once you're in, like they dictate what community you live in, where you work, what your job's going to be.
Do they assign who you get married to?
Well, what's interesting is you're allowed to pursue someone else. So courtship's actually really interesting. You're allowed to pursue who you want to pursue. And if you're
within the cult?
Yeah, if you're under 18, the rules are you then bring it to your parents, and the parents of both parties get to decide if they think that you're compatible. And if they are, then they allow you to begin to take walks together. And then over time, you have to go through a series of approvals to approve every next step in the relationship to move from just taking walks together to holding hands to eventually marriage. If you're over 18, Here's is what's crazy. The entire community has to vote on it and decide if they think that you're compatible, and they think it's the right move forward for the community. Because remember, they need to maintain a bunch of male virgins. So what they're trying to weigh, okay, is this a compatible group? Do we think that they will have a bunch of men? And do we think that we can raise them to be virgins? Do we think that they're a good that's a good move forward?
Their main, so their main motivation as the cult is to make an army
I shouldn't say their main motivation.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a major motivation.
A major motivation of the cult is to make an army of young men.
That are 144,000 male virgins, yes. And here's I
was trying to make a social clip out of that, and you were like, virgins. Like, yeah, I'm probably not going to put that. They're virgins. Okay, all right. Yeah, we get it.
Oh, okay, sorry. We could do it again.
No, I already did it.
Do it again.
Okay, their major motivation is to make a massive army of young
virgins.
Men.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my gosh. I tried.
So I have a picture of their weddings. Here's what a wedding looks like in this cult.
You know what?
So what they do.
So for everyone listening, I'll explain the image. They're in a grassy knoll in a field thing. Yeah. And there's, how many people did you say? Like 15?
Yeah.
Holding hands in a circle. And it looks like they're going clockwise or counterclockwise in the circle. In the middle is a giant toilet paper roll, like a tube, you know what I'm talking about? That's painted to look like the earth. Is this what they think the earth is shaped like?
I don't know.
And they are circling the thing that is painted to be the earth.
Yeah.
On the outside of the circle is a nether, it's like a thing that's made out of cardboard, looks like, but it's painted with flames to, I assume, be hell is kept out of the circle.
Yeah.
And within the circle, they are protecting the earth.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And they all look, imagine what you think a cult would wear. They don't get haircuts, I guess. They all have long hair.
Yeah, the modesty is obviously very important. The women all wear like Amish style dresses. The men have a little less, like some of them are wearing jeans. They're wearing
baggy pants. There's no skinny clothes. There's no,
But most of the men have beards and long hair and look kind of unkempt. Here's another picture, I think, from the same ceremony. As it moves on.
So the toilet paper roll has changed to this cloth hanging down from this ring that says, and they're all still circling it, same 15 people, that says resentment, disobedient to parents. Oh, resentment, disobedient to parents, anger, fear, pride, envy. They're all circling this stuff. Is this the bride and groom, like the one that's wearing the white covering over her head, I assume?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know which one's the groom.
I don't know which one's the groom. I would imagine the one with the very white pants next to her.
That's my guess.
But also there's someone with a white shirt next to her, so...
So who knows?
Who knows?
I think it's whichever one effectively pulls the anger off of the thing. So what they do is they call it pre-enactments. And so what they're doing is they're pre-enacting the end of the world in their wedding ceremony. And so this is them triumphing over evil and all the bad things in the world. And then the army.
Disobedient to parents. In the end days, we will triumph over little snot-nosed brats being disobedient to their parents. Because not only will each of us individually beat the crap out of them, but also so will God. What a sad theology. So, okay.
So that's kind of how the courtship process works. So you are allowed to marry, but like it's just a little different.
A little.
So they now have locations. I was getting to this earlier. The way I've noticed, and I haven't seen this documented anywhere, but it looks like their strategy is one of three things. They are in college towns. You do see a lot of college towns. You do see a lot of areas where I would call I don't know a word for this, like middle of nowhere Appalachia, middle of nowhere northern Arkansas, where it's like there's not a lot of opportunity and not a lot going on.
Right.
Not a lot to do. Probably financially difficult area to survive.
I would imagine they're targeting like Appalachia specifically, like the people who, like, you know, the people who, if they grew up Christian, they would have done YWAM.
Yeah.
But because they didn't grow up Christian, they were like, I'm going to backpack across these mountains.
Yeah.
and they're trying to get people on those trails.
And then they got lost in the mountains.
No. I bet
now they're a mountain.
No,
man.
I bet they're trying to get people who are, because there's people who are like, they do like the 6 month journey of the trail or whatever.
Yeah. Or I think the other area that I noticed that they land is tourist spots, which is very interesting to me. And I actually asked, because we have a friend that lives in Warsaw, and Warsaw's Lake of the Ozarks.
And you were like, please go see?
Well, no, I asked him about it. I was like, have you ever been? And he's like, oh yeah. And I was like, do locals ever go? And he's like, no. He said, the only reason a local will go to the Yellow Deli is to prove to each other that we think it's a cult.
Yeah.
And he said something very interesting.
Who's our friend in Warsaw?
Zach.
Oh, okay.
He said something very interesting to me. He said,
he seems like the type that would do it.
He said, he said to me, everybody I know who has eaten something there has gotten really, really tired afterwards. And he says, we kind of think that they might be putting something in there. And I don't know, like this is just something from one person I know who said this. But he said, but it's happened enough where people have gotten very tired after they've eaten their meal there. And he said, I got a hot dog there once. And I was like, red flag.
Hold on. Yeah.
And he was like, I fell asleep in my car afterwards. It was like the middle of the afternoon.
Here's the thing. That's like a 2-hour drive.
Should we go get sleepy at Yellow Deli?
I got sleepy at Yellow Deli. That's really funny. I do think we should try to make a field trip at some point.
Yeah, that would be worth it.
Okay, so where does that leave us now? I mean, like, is anything getting done about this?
That was important about the Warsaw Yellow Deli.
Oh, okay.
So, hold on, let me pull up.
Just I gotta read it. You're giggling through it like a little girl.
In 1945.
1945?
1945, on Main Street, Warsaw, Harry S. Truman took the oath of office 2 hours after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt in what is now the Yellow Deli Cafe.
Oh, wow.
In Warsaw, which is hilarious to me. I don't think that was intentional at all, but that's so funny to me.
Yeah, very history is very fun. You get what I'm saying? Where it's like, this isn't.
It's hilarious to me.
That's hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's so funny to me.
Truman is like, okay, FDR's dead. I'm the new president. I need to swear it in. Let's go to the Yellow Deli. And everyone's like, what's that? And they're like,
but
we'll be friends when we're older.
Okay. So anyway. All right. I'm not the reason you hate this podcast, is what I'm saying. I just need that to be known.
Factoid.
Okay,
if you like
factoid.
That, if you think that's funny.
So is that the whole story?
Yeah, that's the whole story. You're
not going to talk about the YouTubers that infiltrated it?
Oh, yeah, but I don't like them. I watched
never mind.
I watched their video.
Fiddle off, I guess.
I watched their video, and they were like, we're going into the cult and we're seeing them. And I'm like, just calm down and just talk normal for like.
Did they get into it though?
They did. And they became part of the cult. And there was a moment in the middle of the video that was somewhat interesting because there was a moment in the middle of the video where it looked like it was kind of working on the guy.
That's what I'm curious. That's what I was curious about.
His friends had to be like, hey, this is a joke. This is for the YouTube. And he's like, yeah, I know. I'm just kind of like, but then they ended up, in the end of the, well, you can watch it on YouTube. It's not great.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay. If it's not fine, that's whatever. But there was there was like, the video kind of sucked. The whole episode was pretty bad. And then there was one part in the middle where he revealed that Harry Truman actually
was
sworn into office in what would one day be the Yellow Deli.
That was so
the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Hilarious. No, he did try to do a thing. The YouTuber, he went to, I think, the location in San Diego. He became a member of the cult.
In Vista.
So then he was a part of the ownership.
Sure.
So then he said,
But that's what I'm saying is like, I didn't know if you found out how would someone, what's the process of joining the cult now? Do you know?
I don't
like. Do you just go to a Yellow Deli and you're like, "Hey, I'd like to join you"?
I mean, I think it's probably something like that. I haven't seen anything anywhere that talks about what the process.
Yeah, I'm sure
like.
they're not on yellowdeli.com. They're not like join. But I
will say on yellowdeli.com they have like an employee login, but instead of employee login, it's disciple sign in.
That's interesting. That's also what they called our logins at Evangel. So, okay. So, well, they're still alive and well is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
is the leader still alive?
Isn't. Gene died in 2021.
I'm trying to set this stuff up, dude. Tell a good story. So Gene died in 2021.
Gene died in 2021. They're still out here trying to raise their army of 144,000.
Okay. What I'm curious about, what I think happened is that they set that 2027 date after Gene's death.
Probably.
Typically what happens with these cults is that the leader passes away, and that's where these cults start being like, we're crazy.
Well, what is interesting is Gene is like a highly regarded figure in the group.
Right.
But it was never a thing where he was like a cult leader like you normally hear.
Yeah.
Jesus is the leader, according to them.
Okay.
But Gene is an important elder, but there's other elders that are on close to equal level. I don't know if I would say,
because that's one thing about Scientology is that L. Ron Hubbard's passing and then them putting in whatever his creepy face is.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Who is like, that's a very hard thing for a cult to do is what I'm saying.
Yeah, to move through. And
so there's how many locations do they currently have? You said 30?
They have a little over 30.
Do you know how many they had?
Are not in the States anymore. Most of them are in Canada, the UK, Japan.
How many are in the States?
I mean, they've got probably about a dozen left in the States, but I think what's happening is enough people in the States are aware that the Yellow Deli is a cult. And so they've moved somewhere else.
So how many do they have at their peak?
I'm not sure. Let's find out how many Yellow Deli.
Oh, it says 33 stores total, 11 across the United States.
Yeah, that's now. I'm curious at its peak.
Since the founding, the Yellow Deli has opened at least 33 stores. So it's not like there was like, what I'm saying is like there was never a time where it was like 100 is what I mean.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever that large.
Yeah.
I've seen things that talk about how they closed stores and moved. Maybe they still
count that as one, you know?
I mean, if you look at their locations, I counted there's about 30. Okay. And so, but I don't know how many
they've ever had. Yeah. I didn't know if there was like a time where they had like 70 at one point. Yeah. Now they've shrunken.
Yeah. I don't know.
But because I don't think they're closing. Has any of them closed since the founder died?
I actually don't know.
So,
I do know actually, because I did look up on Google Maps and there was one in Lawrence, Kansas that's closed now.
Interesting.
So they have closed at least recent enough to be on Google Maps and still listed as permanently closed.
That is crazy, man.
So they're out there, they're kicking. They shouldn't be. You probably shouldn't have a mug from them.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that, like, you know, I bought it because it was like the joke of them being a cult. I really bought it before I knew anything else about the cult.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's what happens with a lot of people, because I think a lot of people don't realize
if it's just a commune and you just have like that's
that's not that big of a deal.
Whatever.
Yeah.
If there's systematic abuse and
you find out that's actually like a pretty major problem,
like an actual cult.
And I think that's what I think a lot of people hear it's a cult. They go eat the food, and I hear the food's actually really good.
Yeah,
and then and you kind of it's kind of a fun experience.
But it's like it's like a funny little because all the college kids really were just like, go try, it's good.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like okay, and it was good.
Yeah, but a weird.
Yeah, but the lady, so I did pay at the end. First of all, they do take credit card. Good for them. And I paid. Well, they have to do the whole roll the ink over it thing. And that didn't work because I have an Amex Platinum. And so
nothing happens.
I actually have the black card because I'm very rich. And, no, but she took my card, and then when she handed it back, she went, fiddle off. And I went, what? And she goes, have a good day. And I was like, that didn't even rhyme.
It sounded like you were doing something.
It sounded like you were trying to do a thing. And she was like, no, fiddle off. Great. Hey, that's the story of the Yellow Deli cult. If you liked the cult story, you want to learn about another crazy story like that, we did a whole episode about Scientology and the founder, L. Ron Hubbard. So you can go check out that episode. And if you want next week's episode now, you can join our cult on Patreon. And we promise it's not crazy and weird. It's just a normal, great. And once you join, you can't leave.
Yep.
So you can do that at TILLN.com/join. You get next week's episode for free right now. Not for free, you pay us to do it. But you get ad free is what I meant. No ads, and you get to join our Discord. And anyway, it's a really good time. Thanks for supporting our show. Thanks for sharing this with somebody. That's a really big deal too. So we'll see you next week on Things I Learned Last Night.